Welcome to Data Mining with the QI Macros. Now, what I see a lot of out there in the world is people have this line-by-line data about their defects or their lost time or time to thrombolytics in healthcare or denied claims, or they have some data that looks like just plain old words that come out of a customer service system. But how do we turn that into data that we can make improvements with? Well, you need pivot tables and our special little word count tool to make sense of all of this. So in the QI macros, there is actually a pivot table wizard, and you can select up to 3 headings or 4 headings here. And when you click on pivot table wizard, it will look at that and figure out how best to summarize all of that data using Excel pivot tables. So here you can see by day, by line, we have the grand total. Now this makes it very easy to go ahead and turn these into control charts, histograms, and so on. So I can take all of this and say I want to do a control chart. And these are packaging defects. By day. Once you create a chart in Excel, even if you have a mistake, you can go back and correct it. Once you've created a chart, it's all done. So here you can see we have about 8.5 packaging defects per day. So we can kind of count on that. And then once we've done this, we can actually start dragging and dropping things in or out of here. So here you can see we have by line all of our different types of defects. Now we could draw individual Pareto charts of each one of these, but we could also just select all of this data with your mouse, and the Pareto chart macro will go create Pareto charts for each one of the lines and the grand total. So here you can see bent and damaged flaps are big on line 1, line 2, and on line 3 they have folded flap problems, and overall folded flaps are our biggest problem, followed by bent and damaged, and carton will not open. So essentially we're in a position now where we have pretty clear information. We could also come back here and go line by line. Maybe one line is a bigger problem than the rest. And Pareto chart that. Packaging defects by line. We see that line 3 is our biggest problem. Now in Excel, what we'd like to do is go look at that data, and once you have a pivot table, you can double click on any cell behind and it'll bring up all the data behind there. So here we can see all of the different kinds of problems that were out there in line 3, and we already know which one's the big hitter here, but you can also do a Pareto chart on a single column of text like this. So packaging defects in line 3. So folded flaps is our big hitter. And then we can go ahead and just create a fishbone diagram to stick in there. Alright, so we could use just the basic one. Let's move or copy that into our sheet before our packaging defects. So the big bar of the Pareto becomes the head of our fishbone. So folded flaps. So folded flaps accounted for 39% of packaging defects, which was higher than desired and caused customer dissatisfaction. And that's how easy it is to build an improvement story using these kinds of tools. Now we also sometimes find that we have data that looks like this that comes out of customer service systems, and if you select that data and click on the word count tool, it'll go parse that out into 1- and 2-word phrases. So we have dupe, DOS, and in this case it was for hospitals with rejected claims, and so dupe, date of service, Over here, reject for duplicate data service, day reject, multiple visits, date of service, multiple visits, same day. You can get the idea that our problem was we were putting in 2 different invoices every day. So that was the problem being caused. And so this gives us a little bit of a Pareto feel for what is buried in some of the data that sits out here in data like this. So it doesn't matter if your data looks like this, or like that, or like this, or just simply like our defect data about packaging defects. It's very easy to analyze that and turn that into control charts, Pareto charts, and fishbones using the QI macros data mining tools. There's also some tools for restacking things, so we can paste links, paste link transpose, stack columns, and so on. But those are the tools that are available in the QI macros for data mining.